let's talk about the most famous meat and three in the city of Nashville. I'm in downtown Nashville at Arnold's. Arnold's is considered the legendary spot here in town. All right, so here at Arnold's, you can find this near downtown Nashville. This is actually in a neighborhood called The Gulch. Right across the street, you have Carter Vintage Guitars, which actually used to be in this old brick building right here. It is in a fantastic place. Then you have Two Hands, which is an Australian cafe. So if you wanted to eat at Arnold's, then go get a coffee at Two Hands. That's a great recommendation. This whole area is called Paseo South. This is the gateway coming from the south Franklin Pike into Nashville. A lot of development has happened here in the Gulch. As you can see, things are still getting developed here. There was at one point a developer that was going to buy this parking lot and the Arnold's building and turn it into one of these buildings that you see behind me. But that's not happening as of this recording. So this is where you can find Arnold's. There is free parking here for an hour. You do have to get it validated. Come enjoy a good old Southern meat three. I'm here with Joe and I'm here with Aaron, and this is more behind the scenes, but we'll do our first bite. So I've eaten here multiple times. It's been a while since I've been here. So this is their macaroni and cheese. It just reminds me of a good old Southern mac and cheese. I went with a different meat than I usually go to. Usually at these places I go with fried chicken, but I went with the blackened salmon. It's a very delicious blackened salmon. The lima beans with it's like a fish sauce. Oh, it's very good. It's like a tartar, but it's not a tartar. It blends really well with the lima beans and the salmon. So this is the spicy chocolate chess pie. Let's dig into it. The chocolate is very, very strong on that front end. It's more of like an old world chocolate spice where you have that nice chili spice with chocolate. It's a fantastic blend. I decided to go with the cornbread. Let's just peel that thing apart. It's been sitting out for a while, you can tell, but the sweetness of the cornbread blends really, really well with the salmon and the mac and cheese and the other meat-free options. Joe has been coming to this restaurant basically his entire life. So I just want to talk about the legacy of this restaurant and how it's impacted his family.
So I'm Joe Pena. You can find me at That Joe You Know on Instagram. My grandfather came here in pursuit of country music, and he had a small following, but it was really his sons that hit it big, and they were very well known all around town, did tours and stuff. But the thing about Arnold's, it's been here that entire time, my entire life. It was always known as the spot where you could come in any day during lunch. It all used to be two big communal tables, so you were truly sitting at a family-style table, rubbing elbows with every walk of life in town. So I remember calling my mom and telling her about this amazing restaurant that I found the first time I came to Arnold's and how it was the best thing in Nashville. And she's like, oh, we've been eating there for generations. Like your grandfather, your mother, you're like, we've all loved that restaurant. I was kind of hurt that I was kept out of the secret for a while, but then I've done my part to share that with as many people as I can. I've taken a lot of people to their first meal at Arnold's. It's just really special to me. It makes me feel great to just be part of that new Nashville in that way, to carry on those traditions.
Meat and Three is a really interesting concept. I think this is a really Nashville brand before Nashville hot chicken became a thing. Nashville was known for its meat and threes. You used to have these vintage places that were around for 75 to 100 years. Part of the reason they probably closed is across the street, you have this massive development. That's what's happening to a lot of these areas of Nashville. You have these small mom and pop shops, and then these developers come in because they have the capital to buy the land. And a lot of these small mom and pop shops are saying, hey, I'm actually going to close because I'm getting an offer I can't refuse. A lot of people that have been here in Nashville for a very long time is considering that we're losing the heart and the spirit of what makes Nashville. In a sense, I agree with them. In a sense, I am a capitalist, and if people have the capital to spend, let them spend. But it's figuring out that balance. So over the next few months of videos that we're making, we're going to figure out that balance of what that looks like with old Nashville and new Nashville. All right, so I'm here with the owner of Arnold's Country Kitchen, located in downtown Nashville. Galil, tell us about the business and where the concept came from, and just walk us through this.
Man, where the concept came from. So my dad's from the hills of Asheville, North Carolina. Grew up on a farm, back the olden days where you would walk uphill to and from school. Like old mountain man.
Nine miles.
Yeah, 9 miles both way. So he was actually going to Vanderbilt Med School and had a bunch of babies and couldn't afford to keep going to school. So the only thing he knew how to do was cook. So he actually started at a few other places, but then started here at like 1981, 1982, is with Lynn Chandler's Cafeteria. This was kind of his tax write-off. My dad started here, you know, fast forward a year later, my dad had put to spend on things, and the guy came to him and said, Jack, you're actually making money. He was like, well, yeah. And he was like, you're not supposed to make any money there. So he wanted to sell it to my dad. My dad didn't have any money, had a bunch of babies. Crazy thing is, one of my dad's customers, my dad told him the story. He's like, hey, I want to turn this into something, but I don't have any money. A guy named Lawrence Mashburn, local entrepreneur, came to my dad the next day and said, Jack, I know you didn't ask for it, but I've seen what you've done in a year and a half at this place, and here's the money to buy the place. Pay me back when you can. Just keep doing what you're doing. Well, my dad paid him back within the year. To me, that's what Nashville has always been. City of community, everybody looking out for each other. Every walk of life was welcome at the table, and to me, that's still kind of Nashville, old and new, and that's definitely Arnold's and what we want to represent.
I hope that you enjoyed this experience of one of the most legendary restaurants in Nashville. As I said, I'm Stuart Deming of Explore Nash. Thank you for exploring with us.